This is the most random video I think I could ever make, and I certainly wasn't expecting to make this video. And the reason why I am is because I want to share the most incredible experience of my life. And my mum would have wanted me to do this, and it's not for clickbait, it's not for attention, it's for awareness. My mum passed a week ago today, and none of us were really expecting it. She wasn't ill for years of, dying. She was disabled, but she wasn't, she's still very strong and very, very, fighting fit. But she got a virus last week, and she didn't last more than 24 hours in the hospital, and she died of septic shock. And it took over her body very quickly. And I didn't get to make it back in time because I was living in Ibiza. I still am. But I had to travel over, and I didn't get to see her before she died in person. But I did go to see her when I got to the hospital, and she was definitely dead and definitely not alive, and definitely the energy of the room was not how I remember my mum. But the grieving process that I am going through has been one of the most profound feelings of my life. And I'm not filled with ultimate sadness at all. And yes, I know there's waves to the grieving process, and it comes in different forms for different people for different reasons. But when I was on the flight, on the way over from Barcelona, I was sat on the plane and I was meditating to try and calm my nerves. And my mum came through to me and asked me, she said to me, "Don't give up on me, Nat. Don't give up on me, Natty. I will make it through." And my mum was a very strong woman. She's in the army. She was incredibly strong. And I said to her, I'm not giving up on you, Mum. And I was feeling strange because I knew it was her energetically coming through to me, but she wasn't there with me in the sense of physically. I wasn't on the phone to her. I was just hearing from her soul. And I said to her, "You don't have to be strong anymore. You can let go. You've done enough. And if you want to let go, you can let go. And I respect you and we love you, but you've done enough. Go." In the end, I was telling my mum to leave, to heal herself. And I felt this incredible feeling that just came over me. And I can feel it now, and it's not left me since. And I felt like I felt her last breath. And I went into this insane place of peace. It's the most tranquil, calming, peaceful feeling I've ever had. And it was like I was sat on the plane with God. It genuinely felt, and still does right now, of this feeling of wholeness and contentment and relief and happiness, and just letting everything go and being like, oh, whatever. When you really truly are like, whatever. And I've had that feeling since she's passed. And it turns out that it was 12:30 on the plane when I was saying goodbye to Mum, and I felt that feeling. And at 11:30 in the UK, so at the same time with an hour's difference, the minister had come around in the hospital and had said a blessing for my mum. And my sister said she felt it, my mum pass, and it was around the same time, and we both felt the same thing. And that my mum's body didn't have a soul anymore. And this feeling that I have of feeling complete comes from one main source, I think, and it's the satisfaction and the relief to know that I have no regrets. And my mum and me, we didn't always get on. It was a strained relationship for years. But in our later years, I healed that and I came to a place of unconditional love for my mum and vice versa. And we spent incredible times together and studied sound together and explored more of who we were as individuals together. And I have no regrets, and neither did she. And neither does my dad, who was, a really good support for my mum and pretty much her carer, although she'll hate me saying that on camera. And my sister also has been in a space of relief because mum's no longer in pain. She's no longer on crutches, and she's, she was an incredible force. And we all feel like we can celebrate her life because we got what we wanted from her and we gave her what we wanted to give her. And it feels like I came up with this thing that I have to read out. It was a quote, but it's kind of a poem that I didn't realize I was saying until someone said it back to me. But I said to them, if you've been kind-hearted with the one who's departed, then death can only be a beautiful thing. Because when you've done what you really need to do, and you've been whole and honest and true with someone, there's no regrets, nothing. I'm like incredibly happy every day since my mum has died, and I don't understand why, because I've always been told that grief is continuously sad and painful, and I haven't majorly felt the loss. And yeah, when I go and back to Ibiza and I have a different life, it may hit me like a truck. But I feel right now that it won't, because I understand it and I feel it and I've held it to be true, and I cleared my field of all the shit before my mum passed, and I can celebrate her, and I feel so good and so excited about her and where she is and her relief, and that also my dad's got a new lease of life. My dad was her carer and looked after her a lot, and now he's in a position where he's free to do what he wants to do, and he was in service of my mum. And it's incredibly hard, I think, for me to find a man that will do what my dad did for my mum. He was in service to my mum, and he was loyal, and he loved her till the day they parted. And that's a rare thing these days. And I see it and I respect it and I love it, and I long for that in my own relationships. Or relationship, probably shouldn't be plural, but I just feel so grateful, and I wanted to share this feeling and this alternative perspective on grief, and just guide you, if you're listening, to get your ducks in a row. Organize yourself. Become whole and say what you want to say and do what you want to do with the people you love. Because if they go, the experience on the other side of death doesn't have to be tremendous pain. It can be a rejoicing in someone's existence and a celebration of the work that you've done leading up to that. Because I'm so proud of me and my dad and my sister of what we've managed to achieve with my mum before she died. And since she's died, I feel like I've got like little adulting points. It's like I'm one parent down and my life's just gone, ooh, I need to adult, or, like I'm stepping up into more of me, and I feel stronger and I feel more of me. And I've been doing admin all week. Like when someone dies, there's a shed load of admin that no one tells you about, where there's like death certificates and waiting for coroners and getting boxes from the hospital and getting all of the stuff sorted and bank accounts and being on the phone to Vodafone and the car and the council tax. And I'm like, oh my God, there is so much to do. When really it's just about grieving, but actually, of respect to my mum and my dad, I want to give my dad as much time and space as he needs to grieve. So doing, adulting and doing more. This is my time as the child, the youngest of the family, to step up and to show up and to be all of me and to support my parents as they supported me. And I'm doing that, as annoying as the hold music is when you call Vodafone and British Gas and all the other crap things. I've just got to do it. And it feels to me now like I'm giving my dad the space and time that he deserves. And we've gone through my mum's stuff and we've cleared things out and we're taking things to charity because he doesn't want to come back from the funeral having to relive everything. So it's been an efficient process, but it hasn't been a denial or an ignoring of the death. Whenever we've needed to cry, we've bawled our eyes out. Whenever we've read a card or seen flowers, we've cried. Whenever we get a text message, we cry. And every one of us is facing the feelings that are coming up, and we're in no way, shape, or form any part of denial. It is a very real thing, but there is no resistance to what's happened. And when there's no resistance and you allow something, you can breathe it in fully. But if you're in resistance and you're denying it, that's where the pain and the suffering lies, especially when there's regret and guilt and resentment. But right now, it's like a place of allowing. It's a place of abundance, like of love, of new connection. Me and my sister's relationship has like gone up tenfold. And I actually feel like I have a sister now, which most people didn't even know I had one. She was like the daughter of my mum. She never felt like she was my sister. And now I'm like, oh, wow, I've got a sister. And it feels incredible. And like me and my dad's relationship has bonded even more. And we've joked about him coming onto my YouTube channel and traveling with me and enjoying life. And we've giggled as much as we've cried. And I can't tell you enough, like, get your ducks in a row, sort your stuff out, organize yourself, become whole as much as you can, so when this event takes place, you can feel an incredible amount of peace in the way that I currently feel, because I never knew this was possible. And I know grief comes in many forms, but right now I'm sharing the feeling that I've got because it feels amazing. And my mum would have wanted me to share this celebration of life rather than any regrets and fears and other things that are going on. She wanted to be celebrated. And if anybody comes to the funeral, you're not allowed to wear black. You have to wear the brightest thing in your wardrobe, on my mum's request. I've got some like rainbow trainers that she bought me from Skechers, and I'm looking forward to choosing my outfit and getting dressed up to celebrate my mum's life. And I'm incredibly excited for what will be the wettest day, because I will not stop crying. And it's up in Yorkshire, so it's probably going to rain. And I'm going to be brightly coloured and ready to celebrate the most powerful woman I know. So, yeah, I wanted to share this and just be honest about the most bizarre, awkward week of my life, because it's what's real, and it's where's Nat at? She's here, feeling peculiar and facing a very awkward moment of death and a beautiful beginning of something new. And I wanted to share this, as vulnerable and as weird and awkward as it may be. And sorry if you cried, but I hope you get your ducks in a row and you feel the same way that I do when someone that you love passes. Thank you for watching.